Welcome to Bruce Tracy Photography. Today I got a brand new lens. Yeah, it's not brand new to you guys, but it's brand new to me. I can't afford to go out and buy the newest and greatest every time it comes out. So when I see a lens I really want, I got to save up for a while to get it. And that's the case with this lens that I have right behind me, which is the Canon RF 200 to 800 5.6 to 9. It's not an L lens. I almost said L. It's not a professional lens, but it's still, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Let's take a look at it. First thing you're going to notice is that this box is absolutely humongous. The lens inside of it's not that big. Let's take a look. Open it up here. Got the registration cards. You got the instructions that go with it. But then it's inside another little box inside the big box, which is good because that thing was massive. Alright, it's still very big, but it's not as huge as that original box made it look. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a look inside. Now I'm hoping it's packaged a little better inside this box than it was in the big one. Not really. It does not have any extra padding in there at all. Okay, you got a strap because the lens is so huge it needs its own strap. And here it is. This is a beast. I am excited about this. Plan to use it for birds, wildlife, sports. I'm going to take it to an air show hopefully this weekend. So I have been using the Canon RF 600 f11. It's a fixed f11 lens. And that's what I've been using for most of my birds, a lot of outdoor sports, for air shows, things like that. This is going to give me one stop better as far as the aperture goes, but it also gives me an extra reach. So instead of 600, I'm now going to be able to go out to 800. Now I'm going to use this on the back of my R6 Mark II, probably most of the time, but occasionally I'm going to switch over to the R7 because the R7 is a crop censored camera. And with Canon, the crop sensor is 1.6. That means this lens right here jumps up to a 320 by 1280, if I did my math right in my head right there. 320 by 1280. That's incredible reach. There's all kinds of stuff I can do with that, including I'm going to take some pictures of the moon with it. In fact, in this video right here, I'm sure I'll get outside and take some pictures of the moon to share with you. But it looks pretty. It looks like an R series lens because of the white paint. But man, look how big that thing is. That is one giant lens. All right, let's go outside and see what we can do taking some moon photos. I just came in from outside. I've had this lens for about a half hour now. In fact, here's what it looks like fully extended. That's 800 millimeters right there. That's a huge lens. Well, I've got some hummingbirds that hang out in my backyard. They like to sit on my lantana plants. So I took this out there to see what I can get, and I got some incredible photographs. At 800 millimeters, you bring that bird right up to you. So right now I have it on the back of my Canon R6 Mark II. So 800 millimeters, brought those birds right up to me. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of those photographs I just took. All right, we're getting ready now to take some photographs of the moon. Those bird photographs, incredible. I can't believe how good they came out. The first photos I took with this lens, literally within 15 minutes after I opened the box, took it to my backyard, took those photographs. They looked really good. Now we're ready to go ahead and take some photos of the moon. I know this thing's going to be incredible for the moon. And for this photo, let's see, there's the camera behind me. I have switched it up. So now instead of using my Canon R6 Mark II, I'm going to use the Canon R7. And again, that's because of the crop factor of 1.6. It's going to give me a little extra reach to reach up to the moon. 1280 millimeters. That's a lot of reach. That's more than a lot of my telescopes. I'm going to be shooting this handheld. So I'm not going to put it on a tripod. Just going to aim it up at the moon, take a couple photographs. Then I'm going to walk you through how I process it just to show you what it looks like. And I'll end this video by showing you the moon photograph I got. Now, one thing I've already learned about this lens, you'll see I've got the camera strap. That's the strap that came with it. I put it right on the lens itself. This is a heavy lens. I was surprised. It's heavier than I thought it would be. So if you're just holding this for a long period of time, you're going to get tired. So I put the strap on the lens itself, which you want to do. You don't want to put the lens on or the strap on the camera, because what that's going to do is put too much weight on that camera, and it's going to mess with this piece right here, which is your mount. You have too much weight that's going to be against the camera, and it might pull the mount loose a little bit. Okay, let's head outside and take a look at the moon. That's the moon in the back of my Canon R7 at 800 millimeters, which is 1280. Very difficult to hold this lens still as I'm holding it by hand. I'm resting it against my outdoor mailbox. But you can see how big that thing is filling up the screen. Looks like you're looking through a telescope, but I'm just looking through the back of my camera. Now I'm going to go ahead and take some photographs and show you what I got. Alright, I've brought you inside with me to take a look at what this is going to look like now in Adobe Lightroom. But you'll see, using the Canon R7 and the RF 200 to 800, and I shot this at 800 millimeters, which makes it effectively 1280 millimeters, you can see how the moon fills up a good part of the screen. That's pretty impressive. I'm used to having to crop moon photos. I'm not going to have to do that anymore, because at 1280 millimeters, that moon is filling up the screen pretty good. I'm only going to do two things here in Adobe Lightroom. The first thing I want to do is bring up the exposure just a little. Take it right about there. And then I want to go down here and I'm going to mess with the texture. And what the texture is going to do, it's going to add a little bit of detail to the dark regions of the moon, and it's also going to sharpen up those craters. So I'll just give that a little bit of texture right there. You can already see that the moon's looking pretty sweet. From here, I'm going to save this as a DNG file, and then I'll open it up over in Adobe Photoshop. Okay, we're now in Adobe Photoshop. You'll see here's my moon. Haven't done a whole lot to it, just brightened it up a little bit, added a little detail. Now, I've got two photo frames that I use whenever I put a photo on the internet. I've got my final frame here, and then this is the insert. So what I want to do is I'm not going to give it the full moon for this. I want to see if I can just save part of this to really accentuate the craters. So I'm not going to shrink it. I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm just going to copy it and paste it into my frame over here. And I'm going to drag it up and see how that looks. Holy cow, that's way too big. But actually, I kind of like that, so I might go with it. But see how now I've got a really cool looking view of the craters of the moon. All right, that's really all I'm going to do here in Photoshop. And I'm going to take this photo insert, the frame insert here. Going to copy that. And I am going to paste it into my final frame. And I'm going to move that up 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to do a drop shadow on it. And my drop shadow settings are distance 15, spread 5, size 25, opacity at 65, and then the angle, I'm going to take it to 75 here. Click OK. Add some filters. I'm going to go ahead and add the pop filter in the adjustments panel here. That looks pretty good. I'm going to save that as a JPEG. And I'm done with this image. Whoops, I need to do a save as. Save a copy. Make it into a JPEG. Stick it on my desktop. Call it the moon. Really a simple process. And now I have a photo that I'm ready to go put up on the internet. Looks like this. It's not a full moon. I just took a little chunk of it so you can really see the craters. I like the way that looks. If you wanted to, I could go back. In fact, let's do that real quick. All right, my frames that I take up and put up on Facebook or Instagram, they are, let's see what the image size is on this. I think it is 17 by 11.333. So what I want to do with this moon photo here is I'm going to resize it. Take it down to 72 resolution. And I'll probably go 23 here. And that should fill up my frame pretty good. So let's see how that looks. Copy that. Throw it onto my frame. Yeah, that fits pretty nice. Now I'm going to take all of this, copy the merged, put it over here in my final frame. Move that up 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to come down here and do the drop shadow. Drop shadow's already set up. Let's see here. I like it at 65% opacity, 15 for distance, 5 for spread, 25 for size, and then I want to make sure that the angle is 75. Click OK. And there's my full moon photograph right there. And just a few minutes ago, I showed you how I did my partial moon. In fact, let me go ahead and open that up so you can take a look at it. And there it is when I didn't shrink it, and I just moved it right over to get a little chunk of the moon so you can really see these craters here. So, you know, depends what you like. Full moon shot here, partial moon shot here with the craters accentuated. Both of those just simply shot through the Canon R7 and the RF 200-800. You can see what a great job this thing's going to do. It's like taking a photograph through a telescope, basically. So you really get a nice close-up of the moon. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. You can see that this lens does a great job of taking pictures of birds, does a great job of taking pictures of the moon. Next weekend, I'll be taking this lens out to the Camarillo Air Show. Once again, I'm going to put it on the back of the Canon R7. So I'll be shooting airplanes at 1280 millimeters. That's going to be incredible. So stay tuned for that next video. And thanks for coming with me today. I'll see you guys next time on Bruce Tracy Photography.